Hey everyone! We are moving into week 6 of our studies, and I'm glad we've been able to make it this far. For this week's Segway, we'll be reviewing some of the main ideas involving our summative assessments, and we'll overview how we can pursue, connect, and further explain conceptual understandings in relation to various source materials and our presentational tasks at hand. So let's get started. Last week, you began to demonstrate your understanding of the 5 themes of geography using our conceptual readings, vocabulary and terms, and my, Mr. Dan's, shared geographical experiences. In particular, our first summative assessment provides you an opportunity to showcase your knowledge and skills in relation to developing lines of inquiry using driving and supportive questions in relation to our concepts and project resource files, increasing our use of geospatial and other technologies and tools, such as Google Earth, in order to describe spatial patterns, physical features, and cultural characteristics of various locations. 3. Accessing, developing, and using visual representations in support of our inquiry findings that can be used to represent and explain Mr. Dan's geographical journey in relation to the 5 themes of geography. Up to this point, we've organized ourselves into informal groups to better understand and identify how to get started and proceed with our inquiry-based presentations. Since this is an individual assessment, our classmate groupings from last week were really not designed to help you create a project, but rather our groups gave us an opportunity to explore the expectations of the assessment as I presented them through peer discussion, and provided a more functional remote learning setting for you to ask me direct questions. Since we met last Friday for class, I spent some time reviewing and commenting on your first drafts of questions that will guide inquiries, helping you find content for your presentations. Here are several common feedback suggestions that might help you better focus your questions and further and/or extend your inquiries for this week. As we progress through the project, this is what you should develop. Focus on concepts and find connections between 5 themes of geography and the project source files. My introduction video and the Google Earth project file attached to the Google Classroom assignment. Then you can start asking new supporting questions, improve current questions based on my feedback, and answer these questions related to the 3 driving questions that clearly connect the geographical concepts to the source files provided in the geographical journey and footprint. Then support and extend your findings explanations by identifying and pursuing opportunities to demonstrate various environmental aspects using tools like Google Earth's various features. And ask questions to enable you to draw in other resources and possible research you feel will help present even more context to my geographical experiences. Such evidence and content could be educated assumptions and could be concrete details you have found about the environments that have been highlighted in the source materials. Throughout this week, we will be answering our supporting questions that will provide us content to explain the answer to the driving questions. Simultaneously, we'll be filling in various gaps in our knowledge of the 5 themes of geography to begin developing the structure of our presentation and find ways and methods that help us visually represent our findings and content. Before I leave, let's take a look at a timely tech tip that might help you begin thinking about making remote, visually rich multimedia presentations. We are always communicating through words and actions in almost every real-time or synchronous or asynchronous interaction we have with others. What we communicate is determined by the needs and environment we find ourselves in at any given moment. As a general rule, we communicate with specific audiences that we choose or have been chosen for us, depending on our circumstances. Whether formally or informally, consciously or unconsciously, we develop a range of abilities to organize and share our thoughts related to the goal of our communication. Therefore, everyone must determine the context of our communication and adjust our strategies to convey our ideas. Multimedia presentations are based on communications we engage with that use media. Media such as audio, images, video, animations, graphs, models, maps, presentation slides, etc. This resource helps us relate and convey our messages while providing engaging material to connect to, improve, and develop an audience's understanding and experiences. There are a number of strategies, tools, and techniques that help us develop multimedia presentations. And the sheer amount of options that exist can paralyze us when we start any multimedia presentation. So with this said, if you start to understand the essentials of what goes into the multimedia production, you'll be able to step through some of the processes and match a growing number of tools and techniques that help you layer multimedia on top of your presentation's content. So multimedia production involves three things. Basically, pre-production, production, post-production. It's that simple. Now, these three stages can be used as a roadmap or a guide to help us start finding solutions to our presentation needs. Pre-production involves developing inquiries, answering questions related to our driving questions, and organizing our content in a way that helps the audience follow mine or your presentation. Whatever your situation you're in, use the following concrete steps and conceptual strategies and/or tools to help plan your production stage. So, ask and answer supporting questions to map out your content you want to present. Develop plans of action and/or outlines or scripts of your content using technologies that facilitate collaboration with others, such as Google Documents, and share your content to receive feedback and suggestions before you start to develop your presentation. Remember, if you need to make adjustments to your presentation, it is always easier to adjust your plans in writing than having to go back and revise various pieces or parts of your presentation during the production and post-production stages. Review your outline script and develop thorough notes about how you will present your ideas using audio and visuals. Establish a personal system to begin collecting and organizing the multimedia you have decided to use to augment your presentation's content. Then plan out the tools and methods and sources you will use during your production of your presentation's delivery. The second step of your multimedia presentation is to produce the files to deliver your content as documented in your pre-production process. To do this, review your ideas documented in the pre-production stage. Record your audio that will help explain your presentation's delivery using audio and video or audio recording software and hardware. Create, capture, and collect the visuals you have in mind to convey or share and highlight your presentation's ideas and message. You should have already planned out the tools and resources in the first stage of pre-production. Then you can use these tools to access and further develop these tasks. Name and organize the files you are creating, collecting, in order to easily find them during the third and final stage of production. Collect Creative Commons citations notes on a document to give credit to any media you're using that is not yours. Be sure you have the right to use another person's or groups of people's media before you use it. The post-production stage is where you bring it all together with your conceptual understandings and ideas, sequence the sections of your presentations on a digital project timeline, and layer the visuals in relation to your content on top of that timeline. Most of the time, these tasks are performed while using multimedia production suites, applications like iMovie, Movie Maker, Adobe Suite Premiere, KineMaster, Final Cut Pro, WeVideo, DaVinci Resolve, etc. You get my point. Whatever your post-production software is, you should follow a set order to your production tasks as follows. Find and import your audio and video into your chosen application and make necessary adjustments to the audio-video quality and rearrange the audio and video to set the flow of your presentation. It is important to note here that your audio may be attached to your video, and in such cases, then just edit and segment your audio and video together when necessary. Layer your visuals on top of your main audio video and match the visuals to the point in the timeline to enhance the audio discussion and presentation's content. Add further stylistic elements to your production as necessary, such as transitions, filters, textual enhancements like titles. Incorporate introduction and transitional and conclusional segments and background audio and sound effects. Export your audio to the location of your device using the commonly used file formats such as .mov or .mp4. Upload the video to the storage service such as Google Drive or YouTube. Adjust the link sharing settings and share that link with your desired audience. When creating multimedia presentations, you can stay pretty simple with your desired product, or you can add techniques at any stage step and challenge yourself to improve the quality of your end product. Just starting out, multimedia presentations can become challenging, but if you earnestly engage and further develop the strategies in this process that I've just presented, the more advanced and effective your communication and presentations will become to an ever-expanding audience. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.